Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. We are in the vintage motorcycle room again. Look what I got to show you today. This is it's a really amazing motorcycle. It's a 1960 Norton 99, 596 cc's. It's a parallel twin. It's a fully enclosed motorcycle, kind of. Just about as fully enclosed as they came back then. Meaning everything is covered, you know. This one has a fairing on it, a long fender. Look at that, just goes all over. This fairing is made for weather protection. It's got these back pieces on it. The chain is totally enclosed. Everything is put away and stuffed away somewhere, and it's really quite an interesting example of motorcycle. Everything's color matched. The frame is this color. The side cover is that same color right there. The brake lever is the same color. And I found a book with a whole bunch of photos of this bike, and it was that way in the old photos too. Swing arm, just look at all that. So starting with the engine, air-cooled parallel twin, magneto single carburetor, I believe. I can't really get in there and look very well, but I stuck my hand back there and it felt like a concentric, single carburetor concentric. This is a magneto right down here. I believe it's a magneto anyway. Here's an oil shut-off so that it's got a dry sump engine, oil tank right up here. Somebody had put this on so that they could shut the oil off so the motor wouldn't sump, meaning the oil wouldn't drain out of the tank into the bottom of the engine as readily. You just have to remember to turn it back on when you're ready to roll. But just look at all that neat stuff in there. It's a pre-unit engine, obviously. The motor and the transmission are separate. 4-speed transmission right there. Look at this Kickstarter. This does not bend like this. It just stays like that. Very short Kickstarter. I'm betting it's a low compression engine by our standards. Single carburetor. Probably pretty easy to kick. I think it needs a battery, and if we can, we will try to get ourselves on this for a ride when the weather picks up. Today we had hail this morning and lots of snow and ice outside. Supposed to have a blizzard today, so can't do anything like that today. Anyway, back to the engine. Everything's just kind of tucked away in there. Then I got to looking at the front here, and you know, the fairing extends inward on both sides. You can see that over there, this stuff here. And all I can think of is either it was a style statement, because it does it on both sides, or it was an idea that they would direct the wind into the engine compartment, get more air to keep the engine cool. These are the turn stops right here. And the bike does hit the turn stops with the fairing. And the reason I say that, if you hear that noise, that's actually the mirror up top hitting. And look at the tight clearances here, right here, but it does miss, amazingly. Telescoping forks right here. Look at this big old brace right there, isn't that something? Check that out. This is a very heavy fiberglass too. You know, very interesting situation here. The brake is a dual leading shoe. I'm not sure if it came that way from the factory, but those are, when they're adjusted properly, they do work very well. I like it. I like it a lot. It says it's a 19-inch tire. Just look at that. That feels like metal, by the way. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? It's got a center stand and a side stand, of course. Over here to this side, fuel shutoff is right up there. You can see more of the engine there. Here's that piece of that fairing I was talking about to guide the wind into the right spot. Just a whole bunch of interesting here, you know. Look at this central bolt to hold the case on. The primary case isn't held on by bolts all the way around. It's held on by a central bolt right through there. And of course, color matched, color match, color match, color match. Frame is the same color. Brake pedal again. Look at those. Even the center stand and the side stand, here's the side stand right here, are the same color. There's the rear foot pegs. Part of the brake mechanism right here. Mechanical drum brake on the back, of course. There's the adjuster right there. This is the microelectronics of the day right there. That's for your brake light. Look at this here. This is how you adjust the chain. And it's a bolt in here that screws outward, pushing on this little race on the axle right here. And on the bolt that holds the axle. And then a lock nut in here. So instead of coming from the back side, it's coming from this side, pushes that way. An enclosed shock. Looks like you have preload adjustment on there. Let's take a look at that from the other side. There again, that adjuster for the chain. Here's the speedometer drive right here. More of that back brake. Look at that, isn't that just amazing? There really is a lot going on there. This bike is in very good shape. I do like it a lot. Jumping up here, here's the tank. It looks a lot like a Norton Atlas tank. I don't know if it's exactly the same or not. Let's walk over to Norton Atlas. I believe this is a Norton Atlas right here. Yeah, it's very similar to a Norton Atlas tank. Very well done. Little knee pads right there. I just love the colors on this thing. You know, I'm not a green motorcycle guy, but they make it look good in this one. And looking over here, look how thick that fiberglass is. Even thicker right through there. Double layered. Just, you know, all kinds of stuff going. A little wire jungle in there. On-off switch here. Amp gauge down there. Up here's a chronometric speedometer. Smith gauge. There's a guy down the road that'll work on those for you. I'll put his website right above right now. As far as the controls go, we've got a clutch on this side. Not quite sure what this is, maybe a high-low or something like that. Somebody put this clock in right there. Choke right up here. Brake, of course. Throttle, the barrel-shaped grips. But just look at all that. Isn't that just really something else? Then I was looking at the seat, and check this out. So you pull up on the back, then you pull forward. That's how you get it off. More of that stuff in there to... Let me get the light and see if we can shine down in there and see anything. There's the battery right there. There's the back of the carburetor. There's the coils. So this is not a magneto bike. Those are coils. I'll be. Son of a gun. Oil tank right there. So I take that all back about a magneto. That's actually a distributor back there. Little pins to hold it in place. I think we used to call those Zeus clips maybe. Very nice. I like it. Now this bag is an add-on aftermarket. It says Craven Equipment, London. So that's interesting. Look how delicate these little latches are. They must stand the test of time because they look like they're as old as the motorcycle. Oh, hey, we got a nacelle for the headlight. Some other things in there. But look at that. That's fiberglass. I believe that's fiberglass. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Straight screws right there to hold it all together. No Phillips on there yet, by golly. A very nice thing, isn't it? Look, let's look down underneath here. There's the tail light. It's really quite a bike, isn't it? It's very enclosed, very protected. This would keep the dirt off of you. This would keep the water off of you. Great big fairing. All of this is enclosed. The chain is enclosed. You should be able to get to work pretty clean, huh? Let's take a good look at that from the front. Look at the size of that thing. That fairing is definitely made to protect you from the weather, I would say. A little bit of work here. There's a crack here. Somebody stop drilled that. Rubber piece right here. This is maybe 65 years old, if the fairing is as old as the motorcycle. I don't think, I'm guessing about this, I don't think the fairing or the tail pack came with the motorcycle. Certainly was painted to match though, wasn't it? It's just a very interesting machine. It's really got my attention. Now if y'all are interested in something like this, a vintage British motorcycle of any type, got a whole room of here, and of course I've got other ones too. If you need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, never used Triumph, Royal Enfield, Baxter Cycle is the largest vintage British motorcycle parts supplier. Say that 3 times fast. In North America. If they don't have it, you're going to have trouble finding it. Anyway, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, or go to baxtercycle.com. Right there. Tell those fine folks that Fuzzy Biker sent you. Now, it's not a beautiful day out here, so I'm not going to be doing any motorcycle riding, but if it's nice where y'all are at, get out there and ride, my friends. Life is good. Wahoo!
Wahoo! Wahoo!